Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise recap, aka the main report tonight, as we are going to be covering the Maine Celtics in the Swarm game. Andrew, rough loss to end off the season. And I just want to say before we start off too, we're just so grateful for the Maine Celtics and the opportunity that we've had the entirety of the year just to be able to cover them, and just such a fun year. It was fun to be close up and everything and just see the fans and the players and engage with everyone and the organization as a whole. We're so grateful for it, and we cannot wait for next year. And we're going to be bringing up the content up a level next year even. So we're super excited for that. But rough loss, Andrew. I have to say I have a bone to pick with the NBA G League, the NBA G League, because they had the game tonight on Samsung. And I don't have any Samsung devices, Andrew, so I couldn't watch it.
I
So
mean, it's kind of crazy that they have it on there. It's like this G
I
League
would
playoffs. Like,
I
why
want to
not?
watch it. I want to watch it.
Yeah, yeah,
But other than that, that's the only thing. But rough game, Andrew. What are your initial thoughts and takeaways from it?
yeah. Rough game. I mean, the Celtics they shot 34.3% um, from the three, but I mean, it wasn't crazy difference. Actually, well, the Hornets shot 48.8% from the field compared to the Celtics 40%, right? I mean, so they were just hitting their shots consistently, but I mean, in addition, Amari Williams at 15, very nice, very nice. Um, yeah, I think the Hornets though, their entire team found a way to put the ball in the rim. They had five guys in double digits, and it just seemed like they were able to kind of outwill the Celtics tonight.
Yeah, and from my perspective, it's just like, this is a Swarm team that's very talented. You have Tosan Awoma, who we even had interviewed this season. So
Mhm.
sucks. Congratulations to Tosan, and very talented player there. And you have Liam McNeely as well, who's very, very talented as well.
Who we
And I know,
just played, who the
yeah,
Celtics just played.
yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like you saw him up there getting NBA points. And then I don't know how to say his last name. The rookie that they had last year. Maybe you could help me out with it, Andrew, too. Um, T. John Salon, or however you say his name. I know he's very talented though. They picked him last year, I think, like early, like pick 11, or maybe it was later. I don't know, but he's very talented. So and a former Maine Celtics, they had DJ Rodman on that team, who is an absolute baller. I got to see him play last year live. We got an interview with him. He had 9 points tonight. Like,
And he
the,
can shoot the crap out of it too.
oh yeah, this Swarm team is totally talented. But I'm gonna say this still, and this is what I'm going off of. This Maine Celtics team, though, is the most talented team in the G League. I'm saying
Mhm.
it. You
And
have
I think
guys.
they should have. Honestly, I still think they should have beat the Hornets tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have Kendall.
Maybe
Like, sorry, Andrew. Yeah,
no,
you
no.
like. I know this is kind of piggybacking what Spencer said, um, but you have guys like Kendall Brown, Jalen Bridges, uh, and Keon Johnson,
Yeah.
right? Those are three players that played in the NBA. And then you
Mhm.
have Max Shulga, Amari Williams on standard deals with Boston now. And then
Mhm.
in addition to that, you have John Tonji, who's a two-way player with the Celtics, and Hayden Gray, who I think should have opportunity to get a two-way contract in his career from how good he is. And I mean, you just look down the list, it's like this Maine Celtics team is by far the most talented in the G League.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you look at it from like a roster standpoint, I mean, yeah, the Hornets are good, but we could have definitely competed with them, and I honestly thought it would have been a bit of a closer game. I think it just didn't fall our way. I think typically, honestly though, I think typically for some reason the Maine Celtics always seem when they win basketball games, they always seem to have like one person like dominate a game
Yeah.
where it's just like they're the leading scorer, the game runs through them, and it sometimes they find difficulty to like have everyone contribute, and I feel like the
Mhm.
Hornets did have everyone contribute tonight. So maybe that speaks to the semblance of unity that they've had this year. Maybe they've haven't had as many up and down players throughout the year. Because I will say, like, it's been tough for these guys learning how to play to each other and trying to mesh because there's been so much change throughout the entire season.
Without a doubt. I mean, like we've already mentioned too, we mentioned it on the video we did last time, so go check that out after. But like Keon Johnson has been injured most of the season. Like,
Mhm.
we picked him up early in the season, but he's been injured. Obviously Tosan Awoma was a guy we had on the team. He got shipped out and got that two-way contract. John Tonji is a new guy. Amari Williams has been up with the Celtics. Ron Harper Jr. was with us at first, now is up with the Celtics. Like, there's a lot of guys that have been in and out. But, if Andrew, if you wanted to get into the swarm stats, because they had some guys, if you just wanted to even just do points, that's totally fine too. Because,
Mhm.
like you said, there's such a discrepancy of like the points. It's like everyone contributed. Like, I'm looking
Mhm.
through and everyone contributed.
Yeah, I mean, Liam McNeely had, I believe, 12 points. Tosan had 13. PJ Hall had 18. That dude's a beast. He's a monster. I'm not
He
gonna lie.
is.
He's jacked and physical. And man, it's unfortunate that we didn't actually get to see the game, but I would have liked to see how Amari Williams handled PJ Hall because he's a
Yeah.
big physical guy, and I think at times Amari's still getting that physicality figured out, and
Mhm.
he could in the offseason I think put on a little strength and get just a little more like passion on that end of the floor. So I think it's interesting. It would be interesting to see how he played against PJ Hall.
Yeah.
Jalen Sims 16, Marcus Garrett 18, Jonas Adu 4, Terrell Brown Jr. 7, DJ Rodman 9, Tijane Saloon 9, and
You
then
you
no everyone else kind of figured out. And they didn't even have Trey Duval or Antonio Reeves, who
yeah.
we love Antonio Reeves. He can shoot the lights out.
Yeah, Antonio Reeves is definitely a guy who is one that they missed out. So, you said it, and we were missing Ron Harper Jr., but other than that, we've had a full squad. So,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
um
I think we need a little more. I mean, clearly, and you're going to go into it, but we need a little more bench production, I think. Like,
oh,
besides, which we know we don't have a crazy deep bench, but Keon, super inefficient. He shot 3 for 17
yeah,
from the field.
Keon tonight, like, that was one that was tough. And, that you look at it, if he's even a little more efficient, like,
I
we
think
get
he's your X factor in tonight's game.
I agree, because I think, the big thing with him too is he's the most NBA experienced as well.
Mhm,
So, like, a lot of the guys are gonna go off of his energy and everything, and that's the guy you kind of go for. Like, for
mhm,
example, I think PJ Hall and Tosan Awoma are kind of the guys you look for the
mhm.
Swarm, as they're both very talented and have seen NBA time. So, you know, and I'm personally looking at Kendall Brown as well, and he only had 9
Yeah,
points tonight. So,
and
just
he only shot 9 shots tonight, which is
yeah,
also
like
kinda crazy to me. Like, if
yeah,
you're the best play one of the best players on the team, like, we gotta get those totals up, in my opinion, and just see what you can do, right? And obviously, Keon had 17, Mari had 13 shots, which is pretty solid, but Mari didn't have the most efficient game either.
uh,
6 for 13,
I mean, he played last night too, so you gotta give him the benefit of the doubt,
right?
but
Yeah.
still, it's like, he didn't play up he played 13 minutes last night, but, obviously it's you think though, he played such good talent last night, he comes down here, you think he'd be a little more physical and be bullying guys a little bit from the NBA talent he saw last
And then
night,
I
but
wanna get harp on either, but Max Scholga too. Only
yeah.
5 points tonight. Like,
It was just there wasn't a lot of good scoring tonight for the Celtics, but I want to say one thing though.
yeah, highlights.
John
Yeah, yeah.
John Tonji. I want to mention him really quick because 22 points. Andrew, this guy has been carrying the Maine Celtics. I'll not carrying because I think Bridges had a good night and Keon's been on fire for the Maine Celtics as of recently,
Mhm.
but had a rough night tonight. But from a perspective from John Tonji, do you think the Celtics need to keep a flyer on him? I look at him. I think they're gonna do what they did with JD Davison. I think they're gonna bring him back next year, at least on a two-way, because you would it wouldn't make sense to let Tonji go because
No,
from what he's doing. You think he'll be
I
back with this squad next year on a two-way?
yeah, you got to keep him. In my opinion, he is a shot maker. Like he can create his own shot fairly well. He's 6'4", 217 pounds. Like he's a strong dude. Like he's physically ready for the NBA. He's physically
Yeah.
made for the NBA, right? Like
Just
he
his
can
knowledge too, like
he
how
can
he
fight with the
steals the
best of
ball
them.
too. He knows
Yeah.
the right places, like
Also, how he carries himself as a person, right? Like that's someone you
yeah,
want on your roster as well. And yeah, I think he's one of those guys. I'm curious to see how long he was in the John Tonji, like how long he played in college.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, you while you're checking that,
yeah, let me
how
look that up real quick. He played this is insane actually. John Tonji played 20 he played 6 years of college actually. From
6?
2019 to 2025. Yeah, because
How
he
old
had a
is he?
COVID. Well, all right. So he had a medical red shirt. So my bad. So he technically played 5 years, but he also had a COVID year. So he was in that college for a long, long time. And you got to imagine that experience, right? That
Yeah,
just being around the game basketball and playing meaningful minutes all the time, like it's going to give you something. It's going to give you a little extra swagger, a little extra confidence. So, how old is he?
yeah.
Hmm, John Tonji. He is. Oh, this one says he's 6'5". So I don't know. I'm
He
not
alright,
getting a
alright,
good
alright,
height.
alright, alright. I'm stopping it right there because I'm taller than him and I'm not
And how
6'5".
tall are you? You're 6'4".
I'm I'll say 6 we'll go 6'4", but I like to say 6'3.5".
He's 24 years old right now. He's 24 years old.
Okay, so this is a
And
guy that's
Shireman is the same age,
yeah, so
right?
this
Because
is
they played together.
yeah, and this is a guy who kind of you look at him, it's like he should be like you look next year, I think Celtics should still keep him on a two-way, but you think maybe next year he could affect the team more, maybe give him some more minutes
Yeah.
because
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
if you look at like his skill set, he can shoot the three ball really, really well.
Yeah,
And I'd say he's a pretty good defender. And that's what the Celtics like. I mean,
without a doubt.
when you're in this offense, majority of the time you're pretty much running, unless you're Tatum, Brown, Pritchard, and occasionally D White, you're kind of running like corner to corner, off ball movement, get a wide open shot, create for your like that's kind of what you are. So the Celtics wouldn't be asking outside of what he's capable of.
Mhm. Without a doubt, without a doubt. I'll give the Celtics stats though really quick. Kendall Brown 9 points. Jalen Bridges, who I think I would say him and Tanji really have the best games. Jalen Bridges 19 points, which is incredible because for the season, I was like, all right, we need Jalen Bridges to start cooking, and he cooked tonight. And this is where you need him to cook, and it shows that he could do it in clutch moments. 19 points. Hassan Ward 9 points. John Tanji obviously 22, as we mentioned. Hayden Gray only 3. So again, coming off the bench, you're not really getting that scoring boost. Max Shulga, as you alluded to, Andrew, only 5 points. Keon only 8, and Amari Williams with 15 points. So overall, you're right. The Maine Celtics kind of lean on one person to kind of take over, and you had three guys, I guess. We'll count Amari's 15 points.
Mhm.
And what did he have? He had 8 rebounds, 4 assists. So not a terrible stat line, but you really didn't have a lot of production, and ultimately the Swarm did, and that's what gave
Mhm.
them this win tonight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was looking it up too, and I will say, if I've watched John Chauncy play, I will say the only like offensively he's pretty damn good. Defensively, at times he is a little shaky. I think at
I
times.
I think you know I think he'll turn. I think he'll shape more like Baylor Shireman though, because
Yeah,
Baylor
you're
Shi-
right.
because Baylor Shireman, I will say, when I saw him in the G League, his defense did not really stand out to me. It was more of a Tanji situation. But
Mhm,
then that game that he came up against Brooklyn and he had that hustle play where he dove on the
mhm,
ground and just ran across the whole floor. I feel like Tanji's would be in the same person in a sense where you kind of make it to the NBA and you just
mhm.
get that grit because you need something to help you stand
Yeah,
out
and
above
you
others.
and you mentioned his, like, smarts too, like, maybe that, there's reviews of his defensive talent of, like, being like, he's a smart player, like, good in help side, right? So,
Yeah.
maybe that plays a
He is
factor,
very
right?
good on
Where, like,
the help
where
side.
you have, like where you're, like, a smart player that can be in the right positioning at times.
Yes,
Maybe your
yeah, steal
athleticism
something like he did
doesn't
last night.
necessarily maybe your athleticism doesn't make up for it, but at least you're head smart and know where to be on the defensive end. Like, that could be something that we're good with. And I mean, look at what the Celtics have done with players that haven't been as good as at defense as they thought they'd be, right? Like Peyton Pritchard
Yeah,
has turned himself into a really, really high quality defender. Sam Hauser has turned himself into a really, really good defender. I think this year Sam Hauser has looked the best defensively he has his entire career.
yeah,
He stays
without a
in front
doubt.
of guys, he turns them around. Every shot is a contest. So there's no doubt in my mind that Tanji's ceiling for defense is high because he's on the Celtics team.
Yeah. No, without a doubt, though, Andrew. But I wanna give my final thoughts, and then we'll head over to you, Andrew, but my final thoughts is, what a fun season. I mean, at the Expo, like, last year, what was it? Like, you kind of looked I'm trying to even think of the roster in my head really quick. You had guys like JD Davison, who everyone came to the Expo for JD Davison, and you look at this year and it's like, wow, it's gonna be weird because your head guy isn't even on the team anymore. And like last year, I can't even think of who we had right now off the top of my head. It's like you didn't really have a lot of NBA talent. Like you had a bunch of like guys all over, but this year it was really like going to the expo. It was like I'm watching an NBA game. I'm seeing Kendall Brown out there. I'm seeing Keon Johnson, who played 79 games with the Brooklyn Nets last year. I'm
Mhm.
seeing so much NBA talent. It was so fun to watch. And I was telling you, Andrew, I told you right before, I was like, listen, Keon, like, come back next year. We do good job promoting you. And listen, come back for a little bit next year. We'll get an interview with you. We get to watch you play a little bit more and then go shine in the NBA. Just kidding. No, if
Mhm.
he gets, I wish nothing but the best for him. I hope him, Jalen Bridges, and Kendall Brown, I hope they all get back into NBA because that's what the Maine Celtics obviously strive for. And they're totally talented enough to do so. So it was fun while it lasted, Andrew, but another season awaits next year, and it's gonna be just as fun. Let's get the championship next year. Let's do it.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a little sentimental, honestly. Like, this is our first year covering the Maine Celtics. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
There were a lot of things, a lot of discussions with different media members, with different players, and it really opened my eyes to how important the G League is to this NBA and like
yeah,
the hidden layers that make up the NBA and how they turn these players into real NBA talent. It's really, really cool. And it's just like there's so many stories. There's so many guys that are dreaming of making the NBA and you know, whatever small part we can have in it. I'm not saying we have a big part, but we've been able to cover them and give them some love and show people what they're capable of. Like it's been fun and it's been fun to uncover hidden gems and just really appreciate the game of basketball. So it's been really cool. And just thank you for everyone who's helped us cover the Maine Celtics and the journey we've been on. Like really, really cool. I mean, I would
yeah,
never have thought I'd be in this position. I really, really would not have. And just it's really special and I'm glad we got to watch this team and I'm gonna remember this team for hopefully we get to cover this team for a long, long time and if we do this, we'll remember this team as the very first team we covered at the Maine Celtics. So that could be
yeah.
really, really cool.
Without a doubt, Andrew. And I gotta say, like, you're right. I've watched this team for a few years now as a fan, and now being able to cover them has just been so unreal, so unreal. And I have to say, this is my last takeaway, and then we'll close it out. But it's crazy because we interview Tosan and Woma, right? And like we're thinking, oh, we're all friendly and everything, and then he sends us
Right.
home. And
Yeah,
we
that's
have fun,
crazy, actually.
like that.
It's
It's just a
insane.
full circle moment. He sends us home after.
Well, is that not the epitome of the G League? Is that
You're
not the
right.
epitome of what it
You're
is,
right.
right? Like, you have
And you
no idea what could happen, what could go on. It's very random, and that's
that
fun.
is
That's fun.
it's what makes it fun. It's what makes it fun. But we love you, Tosan. We love you, Maine Celtics. With that being said, you guys. Oh, and actually, this is kind of the plug right now. Andrew will be hosting tomorrow, so go show him some love on the recap. It's my birthday, so I'm letting Andrew take over. Go show him some love. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. Again, rough, sad that the season came to an end, but we will keep you guys covered for the Boston Celtics all playoff long, and can't wait to do so again for the Maine Celtics next year. We will see you guys with the next one. Peace, you guys.
Peace.